Tao Tao, a soon-to-be graduate of the MFA Products of Design program, is a writer, artist, and design strategist. She grew up in the forested and pastoral hill towns of western Massachusetts, not far from my own hometown in neighboring Berkshire County. Tao Tao is a 2014 graduate of Yale University, where she studied global affairs and English. Not particularly keen on writing for the likes of Foreign Affairs, Tao Tao, raised in a creative household, spent a year teaching English across Asia, and then a couple of years at the popular website Morning Brew before moving on to Atlas Obscura, a travel and media startup, where she served variously as senior copywriter, creative strategist, and director of trip design and operations. Like so many during the pandemic, Tao Tao had a moment of personal reckoning. That which kept us holed up in our apartments and houses created space to explore and gave voice to Tao Tao's diverse creative interests: drawing, sculpture, paper illustration, watercolor, woodworking, and digital art. The time spent hunkered down in a rural hometown, and no doubt inspired by a mom who paints every day, galvanized Tao Tao's desire to pursue a multidisciplinary design MFA. SVA's Products of Design program seemed to offer an opportunity, in Tao Tao's words, to choose your own adventure. While working towards her MFA, she took a continuing education class in picture book making. This inspired her to begin work on her first picture book, a rhyming story about a young wombat embarrassed by the shape of his poops. Yes, that's what I said. I learned that wombat poop is cube-shaped, and Tao Tao's wombat produces round ones, so you can see the obvious dilemma. Tao Tao, together with her colleague from her MFA program, is also the recent co-founder and head of strategy at Lunch Special, a creative studio specializing in brand identity and content design for startups, nonprofits, and small businesses. Tao Tao is joined today by her parents, William and Q Holmes, her cousin Lucas, and her mentor, Isan Yang. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Tao Tao Holmes.
Thank you, Dr. Cyphers, for that introduction, and to Chantal for a beautiful speech. President David Rhodes, members of the Board of Directors, distinguished guest speaker Stephen Heller, department chairs, faculty, staff, parents, guests, fumu, Kuren, members of the class of 2025, 欢迎大家. I'm honored to address you all today. A few weeks ago, for a course called Design Delight, my classmates and I staged interactive pop-ups all across New York City. One was in a laundromat, another in a workout studio. In Union Square Park, NYMF offered tarot card readings for dogs. Harsha brought a wheelbarrow full of soil to Brooklyn Bridge Park and offered strangers the opportunity to express unspoken grief by writing it down and planting it on seed paper. Jiaqi, dressed as a financial advisor, offered consultations on Wall Street by the Charging Bull. But instead of discussing money, he advised strangers on investing in other areas of their lives, their health, hobbies, and relationships. Each of us changed someone's day, and together, we made New York City come a little more alive. Back in undergrad, a dean once shared a quote that stuck with me. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and go do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. I'll always remember these words, because at the time, I didn't feel fully alive. I hadn't yet given myself permission to be an artist. I hadn't yet found a real creative community, one that navigated the world in a similar way. To my classmates, we came to SVA because we have ideas that need to be expressed, that may have been cast aside or diminished or just didn't have the proper space to grow. Perhaps we're all in this room because for us, coming alive can only be achieved through unrestrained self-expression, through creativity without shame and imagination without hesitation. Meaningful art is made by those who show up as themselves, and SVA is a place that encourages us to do that, where we're part of a lineage of painters, poets, filmmakers, and designers who took bold risks, made up their own rules, and created work that still resonates today. But how can we find out if what we're doing resonates? Last spring, 2 classmates and I built a 7-foot-tall public installation designed to encourage movement and interaction. But our installation hadn't left the building. So we maneuvered the structure in and out of the elevator, placed it outside on the sidewalk, then staked out across the street to observe. We watched as strangers paused, played with the structure, and took video on their phones. We witnessed them come just a little more alive. Through the vulnerability of creating and sharing art, we cultivate a courage to take action, to put things in front of people and try to connect with them. But we can't do it alone. In addition to collaborators, we also need supporters, family, friends, and mentors who will cheer us on. I'd like to especially recognize the family members who've traveled from halfway around the world to join us. 感谢你们的支持和信任，给了我们更多探索的空间和机会。Did I do okay? So, class of 2025, let's all take a moment and rise to our feet and shout and clap as loud as we can to celebrate the people in our lives and in this room who've helped us make this moment a reality. Woo! Let's go! Woo! But we still have a few more people to thank, such as the security staff and night workers, who check us all in, the writing tutors who help us know where to begin, the expertise and eagle eye of the theater technicians, the expedience and know-how of our campus electricians, the unwavering presence of our whole cleaning staff, the absurd student flyers that make us all laugh, the guest lectures and guest crits who come keep us humble, the occasional free snacks so our tummies don't grumble, the makerspace staff who explain the bandsaw and lathe, the counselors and the much-needed support that they gave, the librarians who excavate the perfect resources, the teachers who never stop improving their courses. Thank you, SVA, for making this all a possibility, for championing our imaginations, for trusting in our ability, for believing in our ideas, for believing in us, for understanding that without art, our souls will turn to dust. And now, I believe that the time has arrived for us to get out there and make the world come alive. Thank you.